for today is the Final Fantasy Legend. Released originally as Makai Toshi Saga in 1989 in Japan as the first game in the Saga series, the Final Fantasy Legend received its name when released internationally in 1990, since Square guessed linking it to the Final Fantasy series would make it more appealing to people. Quite different from other RPGs of its time, this game received mixed reviews at the time of its release, but it has gained a loyal following from its fans ever since. Let's see it a little more in detail. The graphics are easy to look at for a Game Boy game. The sprites look different from each other and the monsters look cool. Animation in battle is almost null, but it doesn't become annoying since most battles are fast. Music is okay, some tunes were pretty nice, but it's nothing to write home about. The story is pretty simple: climb the tower to get into paradise. It sounds pretty straightforward, and it is, but it does have some twists. What's more, the world building is pretty good for a Game Boy game. If you take the time to visit all the places and talk to the people, you'll find yourself with a pretty interesting world. Way more than one would initially expect at least. Not going to spoil anything, but the different worlds found in the game really did make me wonder what the hell was going on. In general, I'd say the story is simple but serviceable, and it has a lot of potential. Haven't played the other Saga games yet, but if they improved on this, I'm sure they are exceptional. The combat itself is pretty straightforward for an old-school RPG. You have HP, abilities and normal attacks. The twist is that weapons and abilities have limited uses, like in Fire Emblem. The abilities from some classes recover when you rest, while the ones from items don't do so. You always have to be careful and be prepared not to be in the middle of a dungeon without backup weapons. It also moves pretty fast if you set message speed to 1, which is a plus. I had to leave it somewhere in the middle while advancing with the story though, cause the story dialogues would scroll too fast if I let it at 1. The leveling is where things get particularly strange. There are 3 classes and each one levels differently. Humans only increase their stats by buying books, and there will be a lot of buying in your future if you choose one of these. I usually watch YouTube videos while leveling humans. Espers level stats up randomly while in battle, according to what they are doing in it. And monsters don't level up, but they turn into other monsters after eating the meat that is dropped by the enemies that you defeat. Leveling is a bit complex as you may see, but I applaud them for trying something different. The overworld movement in general is good. The worlds and dungeons are the appropriate size for one not to get lost, which is appreciated in a game without a map. Some people seem to dislike this, but it's one of the things of the game that I like, since I hate getting lost, and it would be even worse in this game considering the limited uses in weapons and abilities. Some people say that the game is hard, but I actually found it to be pretty easy. Grinding is not too bad. I only had to do it twice, once at the beginning since I don't like going out into the world naked, and another time I wanted new armors and I had spent all my money a little before leveling my humans. Besides that, things were pretty simple. Figure I had a good team composition, 2 humans, 1 Esper and 1 monster, but I think things would have been even easier with another Esper instead of the monster, since monsters aren't that useful at the beginning and end of the game. But I wanted to try all the classes. Being able to save at any time also helped with this. The game isn't too long, by the way, around 10 hours, which I think is good cause I finished the game while still feeling good about it, but I feel I wouldn't have enjoyed it as much if it had continued much longer. It even left me with the feeling of starting again with different classes to see how it worked out, which I think is great. I'd say that the gameplay in general is great, a bit different from other games, which could cause problems to some, but if you have the will to read about the game online, or the manual I suppose, you should be okay. I do think going blind into the game must be painful, and it would have been nice for them to explain things a bit more in game, but that's not really how things used to be in those days. I'd say this game is a bit underappreciated. Many people hate it, but I think it's because they didn't take the time to learn about it before starting, which can lead to frustration, or maybe they just don't enjoy old school RPGs. For what it is, I think it's a great RPG for the Game Boy, and one that more RPG lovers should give a chance to. It's certainly not perfect, but it might grow on you, and you'll soon appreciate its quirks. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please like, comment and subscribe. You can expect games from a variety of genres in the future. See you next time.